Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of New Hanover County Schools Television's High School Hoops. I'm Don Osterbo, and tonight, or at least at this moment, joined by Mr. Chris Manning. How you doing tonight, Chris?
Doing wonderful. Looking forward to this.
Super. I'm glad you stepped up and joined me here up on stage. And tonight we are live from Brogdon Hall at Gaddison Court, and it's Hanover Hoggard time. And the girls come in. The Hoggard girls come in at 19-4, 10-3. Their starting lineup being announced right now. Starting for the Vikings, number 20, Isis Tracevik. And then freshman Anya Massey, number 31. And Claire Emma Britt, number 33, the senior forward. And getting the start is freshman number 34, Lexi Steed. And Coach Boubacar all excited also to have his senior, very tenacious defender, number 11, Grace Howe, on the court tonight.
Yeah,
and
she's got some fire in her.
Definitely. And I know she's been back out of a foot injury. And seniors, or Hanover being announced as a senior night. Starter number 10, Isabella James. Number 20, junior forward, Tamaya Marshall. Number 21, senior guard, Via Jennings. And also senior guard, number 32, Caroline Chikar. And rounding out that starting lineup is number 33, senior Sophia Bradford. And Chris, Wildcats have nothing to lose. They're 7-13, 5-8. John T. Hoggard just wants to maintain their possession of right now second in seed in the Mid-Eastern Conference playoffs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a good game. I love the senior night tradition where the seniors get to start. I'm glad that every boys and girls teams take part in that because some of these kids might not ever get to start again. And you're right, Hanover's got nothing to lose. Hoggard wants to keep getting better, and they've got the conference tournament and the state playoffs to look forward to.
Certainly do. They have a great overall record, and they did take a tough loss to Laney over at Hoggard, and then 2 losses to Ashley. And right now Laney is hosting Ashley over on the other side of town. Hoggard gets the tap, controlled by Lexi Steed. There's a travel called. The tap was thrown up by crew leader, Mr. David Fallon. And the gentleman who called the wave transit on the baseline was Mr. Wayne Merritt. And right at the midcourt is Mr. Andy Ramp. Those were our officials for both games tonight, stolen by Anya Massey up to Tracevik. Tracevik with the finish. Isis Tracevik is a really tough athlete.
She is. If you ever see her play softball, when you just see her dressed out, you're like, she's an athlete.
Yeah, and she had 21 the other night in a 45-38 victory against Topsail. With an over and back call. And Tracevik's really had to step up this year to fulfill a leadership role of Blair Barefoot from last year.
Yeah, a lot of seniors lost, but kids roll in. Hoggard's young, 4 freshmen. We'll see action tonight, and a fairly young team. Got a lot to look forward to. And
Chris, I'm going to remind myself once again that although Lola was on the court last year, Lola Lovett, it's her sister on the court this year, Lacey Lovett.
I tell you what, I have seen the girls play a number of times, and you won't see a prettier jump shot than hers.
Yeah,
it looks like it could go in every time.
And that's Grace Howe getting it to go off the roll. Howe with 2. Hoggard up 4.
Foot must have been on the line. That was close to a 3.
Lexi Steed, tenacious Steed. Claire Emma Britt goes the other way. Marshall, some body, no call. Looks like they have a first alternate possession. It's going to go with the Wildcats. Yes, the freshmen are Massey, Steed, Lacey Lovett, as well as Anna Hollis Pitt. So we should see all 4 freshmen tonight. And Hoggard coming out in a little half-court trap. Ball stays with the Wildcats.
Coach Bubakar is he's pressing right out of the gate, so he's trying to. If Hanover's going to win, they're going to have to break the press.
And Via Jennings picks up the rebound, gets the putback.
Yeah, Hoggard went zone there. Hanover found a cutter inside. Anya Massey had a block, but right to Hanover for 2 points.
Hoggard off, run down by Claire Emma Britt, and it's push. Thought we were going to get a steps call. You know, Ashley and Laney both have 19, or excuse me, Ashley and Hoggard both have 19 and 4 overall records. However, Ashley's unblemished in the Mid-Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I watched. I've only seen one Hoggard-Ashley matchup, and if Hoggard could break the press, that game would have been a lot closer. But that's what they struggled with.
Yeah, the last game out, we were at Sheila Bowles Gymnasium and covered that game. That was a very physical ball game with Sanaya Rivers doing pretty much almost had a triple-double.
Yeah, she, whoever's coaching her, the offense is going to run through her. She's going to be the point person on any kind of trapping defense. She's got her hands on the ball all the time, and, her stats show it, and her team's pretty good.
And there's an illegal screen on Via Jennings. Yeah, she's special. I was talking with Coach Fred Lynch the other day. Fred Lynch, AD during the day, and then he still goes after school and referees middle school girls basketball.
Oh, yeah. I saw him doing a middle school boys game one time, and I was in the stands saying, God, that guy looks like Fred Lynch. And it was.
Yes, it was. Yeah, Fred and I were talking about, I was talking to him about a time I talked about Nia Rivers all the time. He was a 7th grader playing against a decent Myrtle Grove team and just went up the court, back behind the back, both hands, went to lay it up and saw her teammate coming up under the basket, just laid it to her and for the easy 2. And I just said special and Fred just was like, yeah, definitely is. And let's see what happens, how she's welcomed up there at EA Laney High School tonight.
That's right. Grace Howell with a nice shot.
Yeah, that was Grace Howe again. Steed with another board, or there's a loose ball picked up. Tough catch. And we're going to have a charge call. Both girls were going for the basketball. And that's going to be on Isis. That's her first. Team's first. And that's a full timeout, or actually 30 for Larry Sampson.
All right, so what do you think they're talking about in the huddle?
Oh, right now, Wildcats talking about trying to control the basketball. They've been up and down the court a few times, and I want to say we were probably close to at least five forced turnovers.
Yeah, I suspect they're going over how to break Hoggard's half-court trap. I would expect Hoggard to maybe change. If they're over there trying to stop one thing, give them a different look and change. That keeps them off balance.
Yeah, Bubakar may come out with maybe some full-court pressure as opposed to the half-court pressure. And, Hanover is minus their leading scorer as well as the leading ball handler, Drea Schufert. She's ineligible for the ball game. And another alternate possession. This one will go to the Vikings.
Yeah, I tell you, when you try to split 2 defenders like she just did, you've got to be awful quick. It's real easy for one of the defenders to stick a hand in there and knock it away, and that's what happened.
Mo Taylor, number 14, and Mercedes Holmes, another freshman on the court, number 31 for the Wildcats. Good ball movement. Good hands by Holmes to deflect the pass. Anya Massey, very long athlete, especially at the point.
Yeah, she has really sprouted up in the last year, which kind of makes it hard on your coordination. But she's going to work hard at it. She's always been a good basketball player.
And Claire Emma Britt finishing down low. And I believe she's Jackson's sister.
Yes.
And her brother Jackson, 6'6", 4-year varsity player for the Vikings.
That's always good when you can have guard, you play guard and you grow late, and then you kind of have guard skills and then you get tall. Anya has been able to do that. Jackson's always been tall.
Right.
Him and my middle son played travel basketball together for years, and Jackson's always been a big kid.
And Tracevic with another Hoggard steal in the finish.
Yeah, Hoggard's making their whole offense on playing good defense here.
It's always great to see some defense turn into offense.
Oh, yeah.
Mo Taylor ran down the long shot, and then another steal by the Vikings, and no call. Looked like
maybe she got her feet tangled up.
Yeah, Marshall stepped on the heel, and then she gets the call this way.
Yeah, the ref's not going to miss that call when you swipe down at the ball.
And that's Claire Emma Britt, her second, third team foul. Marshall on the season, shooting about 55%. She misses the first one. And for the Wildcats, number 11, Emma Becky. Marshall hits 1 of 2. Tracevic gets a good look, feet set.
Knocks it down.
Yes, she does. And he leads all scorers with 7.
Yeah, she's got it going early. But, you know, for Hanover, you can't really leave her alone out there.
No, especially not with all that time. And here comes Madeline Elgart into the ball game, number 32 for the Vikings. And the Vikings force another steal via Jennings returns. Tracevic swings it, gets a good look for Grace Howe. Grace Howe in and out. Tracevic boards. Once again boarded by the Vikings and Elgart. The hoop and the harm.
Yep, good shot.
It'd be interesting if this one gets out away from Hanover too much. How Coach Owl deals with it, because he's got to have wants his girls to keep playing, but at the same time, he'd like to have some opportunity to get some girls off the bench, get some experience. But I wonder how long or how soon how he'll run that substitution.
Yeah, Coach Owl likes to bring pressure a lot. But, Hoggard's got a lot of young players over there. Right now we've got 2 freshmen, a sophomore, a junior, and a senior out there.
And Tracevic, nice steal. And she's fouled by Jennings.
Yeah, Isis is she's got that look where she's real aggressive tonight. She doesn't think anybody can guard her.
Chris, what position does she play in the softball field?
I have boys, so I haven't seen a whole lot of girls sports other than basketball, but she was shortstop, but I believe this year she's going to have to be a pitcher.
Okay, and I was going to say she's a shortstop.
Yeah.
Just looking at her athleticism.
Yeah, Hoggard lost maybe just 2 starters off their state runner-up team, but one of them was a pitcher. But they should be good.
And Tracevic still got some work to do on the hoops court. She goes 1 of 2. Mo Taylor possesses. She's guarded by number 23, Lacey Lovett. Bradford, and she's fouled. That foul's going to go on Elgart.
Yeah, she's just a little bit too aggressive right there. If she'd have walled up and held her ground, that would have been an awful tough shot to make.
Or should they call that on Anya Massey? Bradford's in and out. And she's set to shoot her second shot. And she's 1 for 2 as well. And Hoggard, nice lead as we go under 2 minutes. The high post to Elgart. Swing it. Good ball movement. Hoggard from the corner. It's Jada Armour. And they've reset. Tracevic with the quick shot. Bam.
Wow.
She is feeling it tonight.
I tell you, Hoggard worked the ball around real good, got 2 good shots.
And double figures is Isis Tracevic with 11.
Yeah, and Hanover had good defense on her, but the shot went up. Hoggard gets a rebound, and then they lost her, and then all of a sudden she's open for a 3.
And she had a nice quick release on the second one.
Oh, yeah. She's shooting it if she gets it.
The runner by Mo Taylor.
Nice runner from about 8 feet.
And under a minute. Skip across the zone.
Bam.
Bottoms. Lacey Lovett.
There's that nice jump shot I was talking about earlier.
And I have to say that, and I think it might be a matter of circumstance, but she's definitely impacted the game as a freshman more than her sister did as a freshman.
Yeah, I don't remember Lola as a freshman. She was awful good as a junior and a senior.
Yeah, she was down at Ashley when she was a freshman.
Yeah.
And they get on the floor, and possession goes to the Wildcats. Good hustle on both sides of the ball. Mo Taylor, 15 to go, and then once again we have that illegal screen up top. This one's on Mercedes Holmes.
Yeah, whenever you have an illegal screen at the top of the key, that kind of stands out. The refs typically don't miss that call.
And that's the second straight time that they've got called for it. And the left-hand runner, board it. Let's see if Taylor can get off a shot. She's going to have to heave it.
Good defense.
And the clock runs out. Sends us to the second quarter. It's 22-6. The Vikings lead here at Brogdon Hall. We'll be right back. Tonight's broadcast is made possible with the support of Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. Don't go away. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this brief break.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
Because you said rude things about my work, I started to question my own voice.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of your negative comments online, I've almost quit doing the one thing that makes me happiest in life.
Because you shared something about me that was private, I felt embarrassed.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Because of you sharing your story with me, I feel comfortable sharing my own.
Because you were there when I was coming out, you helped me regain my confidence.
I'm still here today because of you.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
And welcome back. Just off Market Street, New Hanover High School, Gadsden Court at Brogdon Hall. I'm Don Osterbo, joined tonight by Chris Manning. I really appreciate it, Chris, that you stepped up in the last two of our telecasts. I've put a couple people on the spot, and I've got some good ones up here with me, and they both have been some friends for a while, too. Had Mr. Cedric Dickerson a few weeks ago, and now we got Chris Manning with me tonight. And Chris, I've known you guys through sports, and you come from a proud athletic family. You had your brother was pitched in the major leagues.
Yeah, well, he was in. He made it to Double-A with the A's.
Okay,
but he played at North Carolina and was on some really good teams there. A team that went to the College World Series, and two teams that almost went were, one win away.
And you a Hoggard or Hanover grad?
Well, I graduated from Hoggard. My brother actually went to Hanover, and it's funny. My kids go to Hoggard, so I come here dressed in blue. But then my brother's picture's in the hallway, in the showcase at Brogdon Hall. That's just a little bit of a funny thing, but.
Well, that's good. I'm sure your father probably comes in with a half blue, half orange on.
Well, his grandkids are wearing blue, so he's all blue right now. But he had plenty of orange in his closet back in the day.
I'm sure he did, because I know that I still see him the way every sporting event your sons have been playing. I see him right there on the right front row.
Oh yeah, he doesn't miss a whole lot, and actually goes to practice during football season.
And we're back to action, 22-6. Holmes, Bradford, Taylor, and number 10, James, and Tamea Marshall on the court for the Wildcats. And just like in the first quarter, we have a turnover forced by the Hoggard defense.
Yeah, neither one of us are counting turnovers. I'm not sure.
No.
There's Hoggard's defense is forcing some turnovers.
Yeah, I'd say we're double digits right now.
Yeah.
And Via Jennings checked in for the Wildcats. It's Jada Armour, number 21, number 10. Ooh. Bella John, number 23, Lacey Lovett, number 31, Anya Massey, and number 32, Madeline Elgart for Coach Boubacar Al. Bella John thought about taking the three. Jada Armour.
Nice drive.
Jada Armour, sophomore.
Hoggard's playing a 5-out offense, which opens up for the drives. So if Hanover's too aggressive, trying to go for steals, that was pretty easy to turn the corner and lay it in for 2 points.
And she's a good-looking athlete as well.
Oh, yeah. A sophomore, so she's got plenty more to go.
Yeah, the upside of this Hoggard Viking team is just impressive.
Yeah. They don't really have, too much size. Clara Emma's kind of the post player, but she's kind of a face the basket, and, she's more effective with her speed and her quickness than she is her size.
Yeah, and their tallest player plays out in the point.
Yeah.
And that's Anya Massey, but boarded by Jada Armour after 2 attempts by the Wildcats. Massey slows it down. Yeah, she tried the backdoor cut, but nobody was home.
Yep. Hanover playing aggressive out front. They're not playing off of them,
and that's
which created a turnover.
Yeah, and Coach All is like he's like, well, hold on a second. I don't like the way we're working this here on that offensive set.
Yeah, I tell you, if you've never seen Hoggard girls play in person, you should go just for Coach All. He's very animated and funny to watch. I have sat in the stands several times and just watched him.
Oh yeah, I love it. Last game we did when Ashley visited Sheila Bowles Gymnasium, he got teed up in about the first 40 seconds, I think it was, after he's protecting his player too, because his kid got drilled.
Yeah.
And but Coach All, I've seen him stomp and stuff. And if you don't know who Boubacar All is, he played power forward for Georgetown Hoyas and John Thompson, John Jr.
Yeah. That was in maybe the late 90s?
Yes, late 90s,
okay.
and then played for Gary Battle out in East Columbus prior to that. And he's about 6'9".
Yeah, he's a big guy. I always wanted to be 6'9". Didn't quite work out.
You'd have given me 6'6", I'd have been happy.
Oh, I'd have settled for 6'1".
And that's a foul on, I believe it was Hoggard, and sends Via Jennings to the line.
Yeah, we have a really nice vantage point here at Brogdon Hall, but sometimes it's hard to see who the refs are calling the foul on.
Yeah, you're looking over their back, so I kind of rely often on Mr. Johnny Braun doing the PA announcement, but sometimes it's not so clear in the acoustics here.
Yeah, with the headset on.
Yes. Jennings for her second shot. She's got 3 tonight. Back irons this one. Boarded by the Wildcats. Marshall tries to go up and under. Massey comes away with the loose ball. They've got the kick to Jada Armour for 3. And ball kept alive. Jennings pushes it for Holmes. Holmes brings it to the middle. She's got Bradford. Armour with the board. Massey quickly up to Lacey Lovett. Lacey Lovett tries a little Euro step, and she's fouled by Mo Taylor.
Yep. Good drive. That's you see so many charge blocks in basketball. With the teams playing 4 and 5 out, there's not a whole lot of traffic, not like the 80s.
Right.
So you see a lot of charge blocks, and every time you see a charge, you want to say, you can have a pull-up jump shot there. It's okay to pull up from 10.
Yeah, instead of trying to go all the way to the rack.
It's a little bit of a lost art of basketball.
Yeah, the little stop and pop kind of jump shot. The mid-range jumper, it's virtually gone in the NBA.
Yeah, there's so many threes. Although if you're a Carolina fan, Kristen Keeling has brought back the mid-range shot. He scored quite a few points the last 3 games. And it looks weird. A guy just stops and shoots.
And Holmes gets a trip to the stripe. Gets her own rebound. Hoggard controlling the boards.
I'm impressed with Madeline so far. She's played really tough. Good two-handed rebound.
And Madeline Hoggard, 5 points, 7 rebounds.
Oh, and an old-timey three-point play maybe.
So the basket's good. Fouls on Taylor. And Hoggard shoots 75% from the charity stripe.
She's a sophomore for Hoggard.
And back irons it.
Didn't go, but a nice stroke from the line.
Taylor with the rebound. They look inside to Bradford. Step back. Holmes is long. Another board for Jada Armour.
The score's a little lopsided right now, but Hanover's playing their game and they're not backing down.
And Hoggard getting some contribution from number 44, the freshman Anna Hollis Pitt.
Always good to get a rebound and put back for a score. Basketball is so guard dominated these days. Sometimes the post players don't get thrown the ball a whole lot.
No call made with Bradford putting the shoulder down.
Yeah, that's probably a good no call. She was straight up.
You know, I noticed on the bench for Hoggard is a former Hoggard in post player, Leah Thompson.
Yeah, I used to like to watch her play. She was really good. I believe she was paired with oh gosh, now I'm forgetting her name.
It's been a couple years back. And she was I know she's went on and played a little softball at UNCW because she was also a standout softball player for the Vikings. And I know who you're saying. It's the girl who went on to play at Gardner Webb, and she was also a very exceptional lacrosse player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Western Carolina, but maybe it was somewhere up there.
Because Blair went to Lenore Ryan. I think it was Gardner Webb. Entry pass deflected by Holmes.
Yeah, bounce pass would have been good there. Probably would have got home.
Jennings with the steal, has Holmes up front. Good hustle by Jada Armour to get back.
Oh, wow.
And Armour fouls.
Guy, if Armour would have went in just a little bit more under control, she probably wouldn't have gotten a foul called on her, but everybody in the gym says she's going to foul her. She was coming in hot.
Yeah, I mean, she made a good hustle play to get back. And she left no opportunity even to get a shot off.
You know, one thing that people might not realize, and you may talk about this in the boys' game later, but, you know, Hoggard lives and dies by the three-pointer. Brogdon Hall is not your normal gym. You know,
True.
It's bigger, there's a balcony, and it's a little bit hard to shoot in here.
Yeah.
Of course, the Hanover team gets to practice here, and they're probably pretty good at it. And I think the Hoggard girls have shot pretty well from outside, which is a little bit surprising.
And Holmes able to make one of two. Yeah, and also it's the only place with a stage anymore.
Yeah. Nice fast break.
Yeah, Dia Jennings with the dish. Mo Taylor with the finish. Foul in the backcourt. That's Mo Taylor, but I have her for three.
Yeah, coaches push, everybody running down the court, and you know, Hanover's player Taylor kept on running, and she ended up getting the ball.
Both teams in the bonus. Lacey Lovett from the stripe, 74%. Knocks that one home.
Yeah, Lexi's back in the game. She's a freshman.
Yes, I know I have a missed error on my sheet I made up. I noticed that last game, never fixed it.
Yep.
And Lacey knocks home both. And I definitely know Lexi pretty well. She was a Myrtle Grove student for quite some time before she moved over to Roland Grice sometime during her 8th grade year. And
yeah, she's fun to watch. She brings a lot of scrappiness to the game.
She's an intense kid. I used to challenge boys. I'd be like, okay, you and Lexi, one-on-one. I was like, she's just going to back you down.
Yeah, that's some old school action. Nice pull-up jump shot.
Via Jennings with 5. Howell to Pitt. Good inside roll by Pitt. Anna Hollis Pitt.
You know what? That was a good shot. She felt the pressure on her back and knew where to roll for the 2 points.
It's a classic drop step to the baseline.
Yeah.
Marshall to Becky.
You know, one thing about girls basketball, sometimes it's basketball in its purest sense because you don't have a 7-footer inside that kind of skew things.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the players are relatively close, and it's pure basketball.
Moving the ball up and down. Sort of kind of how Dr. Naismith drew it up.
Exactly. I don't think they had 7-footers when basketball was invented.
Nah.
You know, ISIS has been, you know, resting for the last few minutes, and Hanover's closed the gap a little bit.
Yeah, they still have a 18-point lead.
Yep, that's Claire Emma's game right there. She's going to catch it, and she's going to drive hard.
And foul was on Isabella James. Claire Emma Britt to the line. Britt connects on the first one. Massey will return, number 31.
Yeah, she's also a soccer player.
And now we're at 20-point lead. Is that Britt?
Yeah.
Good successful women's soccer at John T. Hoggard High School.
Yeah, they're supposed to be really good again this year. I was talking to one of the parents today.
Yeah, I've remarked about this before. It just surprises me some of the success that Hoggard's had in girls lacrosse, girls soccer, and girls and softball. And then you also have the addition of track and field going on. So 4 girl sports going on.
Well, don't forget volleyball. They're pretty good at that too.
Right. I'm just talking about the spring season.
Yeah.
You know, the spring season is saturated with girl sports opportunities, and Hoggard is successful in all 4 of them.
Well, that's a good point because you can't play but one sport at a time. So it's not like, you know, there's a lot of athletes.
And Lexi gets physical.
That's her game.
And the foul will be called on Mercedes Holmes with the reach.
Yeah, fast forward a few years for Hoggard. You know, they've got a couple of players inside. They got a couple of guards. You know, they could have a nice run.
Yes, they certainly could. I mean, even just next year, you know, with Tracevic, you know, in her senior year, you know, the only person they lose off the starting lineup are Grace Howe and Claire Emma Britt. Body, Holmes goes to the line.
Nice drive.
Foul on Massey.
Holmes and Jennings are not backing down at all. Their team is, you know, is behind, but they're playing hard. They're driving the ball to the basket, and, you know, their body language is good. You can't tell that, you know, there's a 22-point spread in the game right now.
Not at all, not at all. They're both putting it out there, being a gamer. And, you know, and Hanover's a little depleted. Both their 2 scoring leaders were Andrea Schufer at 19 points a game, sophomore, and then a junior, Destiny Newkirk, was the second in scoring, and both those players out for and are no longer eligible for these games.
Yep. 50 seconds to go. Hoggard up by 20.
Lexi keeps it alive. Holmes comes the other way.
Oh, nice block.
Ahania Massey cleaning up the glass.
Yeah, we talk about Anya playing point guard and not using her height, but she does have a couple of blocks tonight.
And Isis goes to work.
Yep.
I have her for 13. Under 10. Hanover's got to hurry if they want to get a shot off. Another steal. And see if Hal could get the. Oh, she tries another little Euro step to get open. And the Wildcats trail by 22 going into the half. And Chris, got good game from Isis Tracevik so far. The lady Wildcats just trying to stay scrappy and stay in this ball game.
Yeah, well, they're playing hard, and for their coach, that's all they can ask for.
Certainly.
Go give me a good effort, and we'll take the wins and losses how they come. So I'm sure their coach is happy right now. And Hoggard's doing a good job of doing their thing. They've creating turnovers on defense. They're knocking down a three. Isis has not made every shot, but when she's missed, she's looked good, just like that last one.
Certainly. Well, we're going to thank the sponsors, and then we'll take a little short break. Tonight's broadcast is made possible with the support of Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. For Chris Manning, I'm Don Osterbo. We'll be back after this little halftime message.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, such a weirdo, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Welcome back to Brogdon Hall. Don Osterbo, Chris Manning.
I've been called worse. It's okay.
Chris Manning bringing you the girls' action. Third period, 38-16, 22-point lead for the Vikings. Boubacar all sitting in a nice place. I'm sure he's going to work on some things here in this quarter and hope his girls can come out with the intensity on defense that they did in the first quarter of the basketball game that really got this lead started.
Yeah, it's funny when when a team's got a lead and they want to show some sportsmanship and not press and do some stuff, the tendency is to get a little bit lazy.
Right.
And then they get off their game, and so then the coach has a situation of, okay, do I go back with pressure?
And Hoggard used that pressure to get that initial lead, and then they kind of backed off of it, but they did not stop the pressure on the defensive end of the ball or the court.
Right, and coaches care more about their teams playing good than they do a score.
Yeah,
so he wants to see his team play well.
And Coach Sampson right now wants to try to get the little victory. Let's win the third quarter, girls.
That's right.
Holmes.
Yep, that's good coaching and building for next year.
And foul on Massey. That's her third. Quickly picks up her third. Her and Jada Armour both have three.
And Coach Boubacar, with his body language, was actually saying, why? Why did you do that?
He's talking to her now. And Via Jennings, actually I believe he's talking to Mr. Merritt about the call. And Via Jennings can't convert.
Yeah, it's so tempting to put your hand down and try to slap at the ball when you get beat, and you got to keep your feet moving.
Massey has had one nice block earlier.
I did get a halftime score over at Laney, where Laney's up by 5 against the Ashley girls at halftime.
Okay.
That was brought to me by Mr. Jackson Fuller.
All right. I did pull up my Twitter account, but I didn't pay too much attention to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure who is there doing the tweeting, so we need to find that and make sure we can provide some updates.
I have not seen Tim Hauer in the gym right now, so he could be over there with Coastal Preps. Jennings from the elbow.
Jennings playing hard. Just didn't work out scoring points right there.
And they reset. Coach All they go 4 down. There's a back pick, good cut by Claire Emma Britt, and she traveled.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she established the left foot as the pivot foot, then she turned back around and put the pivot foot down as the right foot.
Offensive players wish they could do that, but it's just against the rules.
Now, you call that the rocker step in lacrosse if you were trying to get open and you put a little rocker step back and forth, but there is no traveling in that ball game. A good defense by Lexi, keeping the rule of verticality.
As a fan of basketball, I don't like to see a whole lot of traveling. I kind of like the way the NBA does it. It's got to be really bad for them to blow the whistle.
Foul on the Vikings. Marshall.
Yep. Shoot. I'm not sure how much Hanover realizes, but Hoggard's in a little bit of foul trouble here.
Yeah, with 3 players with 3 fouls. I believe that last one went on Claire Emma Britt. And we get our first points of the third quarter. Tamaya Marshall now has 2. Nice little left hand. Lexi creates space.
Yes, she did.
She gets the foul.
Probably got away with a foul or a travel. Neither was called.
And Via Jennings gets her third, so 2 players on the Wildcats with 3, Mo Taylor and Via Jennings.
Guys our age, we like to see that kind of late 80s action of just moving people out.
Remind you of the battles. The Mahorn and the mailman. Lexi might be giving the mailman a run for the money on the guns, though.
Yeah. Yeah, when I think of Mahorn and the Pistons, then I start thinking about the Bulls. They had classic matchups in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Cartwright down low.
That's Lexi battling again.
Once again, she's going to get 2. And that one goes on Via Jennings again. That's her 4th. Coach Sampson gets the sub up quickly.
Well,
off
Hanover
the bench.
needs Jennings to stay in the game.
Yeah, her and Holmes have really been the engine tonight. Lexi converts. Has herself her second point. And for the Wildcats, Cache Morton, number 24. And speaking of Cash, Lexi's good for her second free throw.
Yeah, she's got a good form from up there. It's funny, you watch some college basketball games, especially some guys' games, and you think, how can you play college basketball and your free throws look that bad?
Yes,
you got freshmen in high school up there, just nice, easy, smooth, and the ball goes in.
You got kids like Brady Rankin shooting 85%.
Golly. Yeah, Brady's been really good this year.
And the reach by Massey. See, the foul was on Howell, who was away from the basket. I thought the ball was being defended by Massey.
Yeah, I did too. Maybe there was a reach in there that we just missed.
Stays Wildcat basketball. Lead of 23. Tracevic hands all over. Bradford turns at the free throw line. She's going to be fouled by Lexi.
Yeah, she got caught there. A little bit too physical on the ball.
Holmes bailed out by Taylor.
You know, we talked about, well, after this play.
Massey, there's that little mid-range stop and pop.
Nice shot.
On you, Massey.
We talked about what is Hoggard going to do on defense. In the first half, they either had a half-court trap or they played zone. And to make sure they were aggressive, now they've been playing man here in the third quarter.
And off the glass is Mo Taylor. Boarded by Massey. He's got Tracevic up running. Left hand, can't get the fall. Come back the other way, under 5. And out of bounds. Should go over to Hoggard.
I don't think either ref saw it.
Yeah, I thought the ball just was kind of dribbled off her hand.
Yeah, when a ref sticks his hand up and then looks at the other ref, he's asking for help, and Wayne was no help on that play.
And Emma Becky, number 11, checks in, as well as number 44, a freshman, Jemiah Rayford. A lot of youth on the court tonight. Hal, Tracevic, and Rayford does a good job.
Hoggard's doing a good job of running the floor once they get a rebound. I'm sure the Hanover coaches are begging their team to get back on defense.
And that time Rayford was able to, but they leave the inbounds pass open for Claire Emma Britt.
Yeah, the screener play.
Claire Emma with 4 or 6 now. Marshall comes away after a little loose ball.
You know, Hoggard hadn't subbed a whole lot, but then when I look at the bench, everybody's played, so it doesn't feel like they subbed, but they got a good rotation going.
Yeah, they've played all 11 girls on the roster right now tonight.
But you know, that was a nice play.
Nice head fake, ball fake, and finish by Isis Tracevic now with 15.
Yeah, she's got it going on. I have known her for a long time. Her older brother, Demir, was on my baseball team as a 7-year-old. So I have known of her and how good she was for a long time.
And right now, we're trying to push this lead to 30. Massey gets the board, gets it back up, and it falls for her. And we're at 31-point lead. Timeout, Coach Sampson.
Yeah, you are using your height when you don't have to jump.
Yeah, Massey just kind of stood there, got the rebound, took her time, missed the first one, got to put it back, and gets a 31-point lead now. It's quite impressive tonight for the Lady Vikings.
Yep, they've done a lot of good things. They've shot the ball well from the outside. They're still running their offense, and you know, their defense has created some turnovers. So I think they're following the plan. Next week's Mid-Eastern Conference tournament will be interesting.
Yes, especially we'll see how it turns out over at Laney High School, where it should be getting back to the start of the third quarter over there after a 5-point lead for Laney going into the half.
On the girls' side, the top 3 seeds are locked in.
Yes, locked in. We've got Ashley number 1, Hoggard number 2, or no, Laney number 2, and Hoggard number 3.
Yeah.
And shout out to the now retired former director of New Hanover County Schools Television, Aaron Oliver, watching at home on the big screen out in the foothills of North Carolina.
Yeah, Hoggard in an aggressive man-to-man, putting pressure on the ball. They're still playing hard too. Actually, they're in zone. My mistake.
Yeah, a little 2-3. Lexi holding down the middle.
You know, all good zones have man principles, and all good man-to-man have some zone principles. So sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah, they match up well. They pop out and they know Hanover's not going to hurt them from the middle.
Right. They can be a little bit aggressive outside.
And they get the turnover.
Yeah, just the Mid-Eastern Conference standings. Ashley at 13-0 coming into tonight. Laney 11-2, Hoggard 10-3.
So,
yeah, nice play.
That's Elgart.
Yeah, Hoggard's got their motion offense going, and getting a good screen set outside and a flash.
And I have to correct us here. It's according to this, to Tim Howard, who did some seeding work. If with the Hoggard win and a Laney loss, a draw will be used to determine the number 2 and 3 seeds in the conference tournament.
Okay.
So with a win and a Laney win, Hoggard is third. With a loss, they're third. So they have a chance, by the luck of the draw, with a Laney loss.
Right. And I'm not really sure if that means a whole lot. If the higher seeds prevail, then Hoggard's going to play Laney in the semis anyway.
Correct. And that all starts, is it Monday? Or is it Tuesday?
The boys are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Girls are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay. And Anya Massey having a good third quarter.
Nice
she now
shot.
has 7 in the quarter.
Give Hoggard credit. They're focused. They're running their offense and getting some open shots.
They're a dangerous team if Massey can convert from 3.
Yeah. Like we talked earlier, their bugaboo is going to be pressure if they get to play Ashley again.
Massey with the finish.
Yep, nice drive.
Yeah, they got to be able to handle the pressure.
Yeah.
And when the last time they did play Ashley, Grace Howe was on the bench injured, and I think she's an important player for them, not just on beating the pressure, but I think she does a really good job of getting in the jersey of Sanaya Rivers.
Yeah. Yeah. Offensive players want space. They don't want anybody that can stick with them.
And we're about to go under 20 ticks in the third. Massey
she's open again.
Yeah, another good look. Can't get the roll boarded by Lexi. She's going to get another chance, and she's fouled. Basket is not good. Lexi Steed fouled by Bradford.
.6 seconds to go in the third quarter. Hoggard up 55-19.
Lexi's been making a living on the free throw line. This one's in and out. Number 50, freshman Julia Bradford in the ball game. As well as number 12, Abby Seeley, also a freshman. And number 32, Carolyn Shaker, senior.
Yeah, not sure if Hanover knows how much time is left.
And there's a shot by Mo Taylor, and she got it off in time but couldn't convert. Hoggard dominating at 55-19. Played a amazingly tough defensive 17-3. They won that quarter.
Yeah, that's big. You know, the score's not close, but both teams are playing hard, and you know that's good. It's still been an entertaining game,
and that's why you got to say that, you know, best entertainment in sports is high school athletics.
Oh my! For I think it still costs $6, but for $6, you can have all kind of entertainment.
If you need me to get that money back because you guys gave your time up here, I can do that for you. We're going to thank a sponsor real quick. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. Tonight's sponsor is Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Don't go away. We'll be back with the fourth quarter finish.
In 4 days. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. She didn't know what to do.
Did you have a good day at school?
She gave them some broth without any bread.
There you go.
And kissed them all soundly.
Night night.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Come on! Go, Diane! Yeah, keep it going! Yeah! Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane! Woo! You got this!
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
And Mr. Manning is about to have 8 more minutes here of fame on New Hanover County Schools television. Then he goes to being his scorekeeping duties for the boys varsity for Coach Brett Queen.
Well, this has been a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, you've done a great job, and I've enjoyed it. I'm 2 for 2. My man Sid Dickerson stepped up last week, and Mr. Chris Manning stepped up this week, and good stuff. I appreciate it.
Well, you know, when you step up and help, then you're on the short list. If you ever see me in the gym, you know you can reach out.
There you go.
I have a little bit of experience doing football for the Vikings internet radio, but never any TV.
Well,
Some people don't have a face for TV.
Hey, you know, we got 2 of them up here then, man. And good-looking shot again. This time it's Lacey Lovett.
My commentary was spot on about her good-looking jump shot.
Oh, yeah.
You know, one thing for Hoggard, they've moved the ball and spread the court so well. They've had so many open shots.
Yeah,
they're not going to be quite so open once they start advancing in the tournament.
Try to dump it inside. Body's on the floor. Levitt gets another nice look. Bam!
Wow, she's hot.
Love it with 12 now. Chris, I have to put you on the spot and let you know that we will have to come up with the Don and Chris player of the game.
Okay.
Woo.
Okay, we got 1 more quarter to go, but it was a lot of Isis in the first half and a lot of Lacey in the second half.
Yes, and I'm not afraid to give a co-player of the game.
Okay, if that's on the table, then that might not be that hard.
In fact, I believe the last time in the boys' game, Laney Ashley was we gave it to a whole team.
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
And
in the boys' game tonight, Hanover's going to play about 13 guys probably.
Yes.
I mean, they like to play a lot. Hoggard is one of the few years where they just don't have a long bench. They've had some injuries, and they're probably only going to play 7, maybe 8 guys.
And Anna Hospitt earlier picked up her 6th point. And definitely a contrast in styles in the boys' game.
Yeah.
Elgart banging down low with 8.
The Hanover coaches are going to have a lot to go over about, the players on the, down on the zone, seeing the cutters and cutting them off and not letting them just run freely.
And it's a young team. Love it.
Lacey's feeling it.
Yeah, she's 2 for 3 in the last few moments. Along the baseline, number 24, Hayden Haywood in the ball game for the Vikings.
Yeah, that's going to get you a foul every time.
And Jada Armour picks up her 4th.
She's played hard. If you don't have to leave the game with 4 fouls, but she's got no margin for error.
Coach Sampson
going forward.
Yeah, and Coach Sampson will substitute 5 for 5. Holmes, Marshall, James, Via Jennings, and Jemiah Rayford into the ball game.
The officials have done a good job with keeping the play fair. They've been real consistent on the reaching and the fouls.
And that time looks like that foul goes against Via Jennings, and that's going to be her 5th with the charge. And Mr. Fallon's they've done a good job. They haven't blown the whistle too many times. They haven't too many stoppages, and
right.
We flowed right on with.
From a fan's perspective, I'd like to see Jennings to keep playing.
And we do have the running clock now with the 46-point lead.
Good rebound.
Armour for 15. Pitt blocked by number 10, James. And then the push.
Yep. Guys, it's so easy to commit a foul after you miss a shot that you think you should make.
Yeah, that's that frustration coming out in you.
I wasn't blessed with a basketball body. I was careful. I could make some shots, but I wasn't going to try to do a whole lot either.
A lot of different roles you can fill on the basketball court besides scorer.
Yeah, I can make an open shot and not turn the ball over and help the team.
And James goes on the scoreboard with her first point. And Isabella.
Might need an update from Ashley Laney.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to refresh my tweets here. Laney, Ashley, 46-40. Headed into the 4th quarter. Ashley down by 6.
Wow.
That was 5 minutes ago.
It's funny, when you're the best team in your conference, you don't get pushed a lot. They've played way more blowouts than they have close games. And, if Ashley can pull it out, it'll be a good thing for them just to have to play a tight game.
Yeah, and first time they've been challenged in a while. Yeah, when they came to Hoggard a couple weeks back, I was expecting a little bit better game, but they really showed their physicality and won the ball game big. And we're under a minute. And Chris, I think we might have to go with the, I don't know. Isis Tracevic has got 15. Lovett has 12. Massey with 9.
Yeah, Anya's been steady the whole game.
And Mr. Merritt bails her out there, called the carry violation before she would go down and score on the other team's opposing team's basket.
Way to go, Wayne.
At least she's gonna laugh about it.
You could hear some screams in the crowd.
Yes. And that ends the ball game on that running clock. And it's a 44-point victory for the Lady Vikes and Coach Boubacar Al to go 20-4 and finish the Mid-Eastern Conference season 11-3. Not a bad season so far. They got the second one coming up, Chris.
Not a bad season. They can avenge some losses next week if they can turn it on. Laney, I saw the first Laney Hoggard girls game, and it was scrappy. Anya hits a deep three to send it into overtime, and then Laney, what I remember about that game is they didn't miss their free throws. That was an excellent game for them. So Hoggard's going to have a chance to get even with some teams next week, and that's what they'll look forward to.
Yeah, and depending on the outcome over at EA Laney High School, they could be possibly with a number 2 seed as opposed to the number 3. We'll see later on during the boys game. And Chris, I think we're just going to go with the trio players game. Let's go Isis Tracevic, Lacey Lovett, and Anya Massey.
That sounds good. I think that's appropriate. Anya did a lot. We're not keeping up with assists. She had a lot of good assists too, and that's awful important. Something that if Hoggard plays good in the boys game, you'll see Cam Blanks probably not scoring a lot, but contributing in all the areas of the game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have some senior night ceremonies coming up, so we'll probably start the boys game in another about 15 or 20 minutes. And we'll be back with that action. Tonight's broadcast is made possible with the support of Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza. Well, Chris Manning, I appreciate you stepping up.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you, sir.
I
Enjoy your
Don.
job
Thank
at the scorer's table here during the boys' game. And hope to see you sometime out in the neighborhood.
Great.
All right.
Enjoy the next game.
All righty. We'll see you after the senior night ceremonies with the boys' action to decide the Mid-Eastern Conference Championship. John T. Hoggard coming to Brogdon Hall. We'll be back.